Welcome to Today in Putnam County, hosted by Putnam County Mayor Randy Porter, the show that takes a look at the events and what's happening all around Putnam County, as well as interviews with local, community, and business leaders. And now, sharing his insights and experience, here's Today in Putnam County with County Mayor Randy Porter.
Hi, I'm County Mayor Randy Porter. It's Today in Putnam County. Our show this week, it's all about a patriotic event that we have here every year in Cookeville and Putnam County. It's called Red, White, and Boom. And my guest this week is none other than the creator of that event, my good friend, past Cookeville Mayor, Ricky Shelton. Hey, Rick.
How you doing?
Good. Glad to be on the show.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Year rolls around in a hurry, doesn't it?
It really does. Time flies, as they say, and here we are again. It seems like we were just talking about this
last year. Yeah. So for those people that might not know Red, White, and Boom, you're on your 11th year doing that. How'd that come about? How did the idea come about doing something like that?
Yeah, in 2014, running for office like you were, and my wife and I were having coffee on the porch and said, it's crazy we don't have a 4th of July celebration here. We should plan one as part of our deal, and so kind of announced that would bring fireworks back to Cookeville. It had been several years since it had been in Cookeville, and it just kind of took off, and it took a life of its own. That was something that people really wanted, and ran billboards on it, and created a nonprofit called Better Cookeville so that we could facilitate it. It was interesting, at the time when we were running, several of the other candidates really weren't that supportive of that idea, and so I said, well, we'll just go out and raise the money, and so here we are 11 years later.
And and I tell the story, and you know it too, is we had been to an event, a campaign event, and I dropped Melanie and my wife at EMS and picked up the other vehicle, and we were headed home. We saw the billboard going down Willow there, and there it was. It popped up, and it was your campaign billboard about bringing fireworks back to Cookeville. I told her then, I said, there's your new mayor of Cookeville right there. People were excited about that.
They were, and that's kind of ushered in during that time as mayor. We create a lot of events, and you've been a vital part of all those too, helping, partnering with us on that. And so we partnered while I was mayor, and now since I haven't been mayor, you're still partnering.
Still partnering. I
appreciate that. Yeah.
Well, it's a great community event, and it's done nothing but grown over the years. And even before, some of the, I don't know, did Country Giant or some of the radio stations do something with fireworks before, but they'd stopped, right?
They had stopped. It had been done. It's very expensive if you're really going, blow money up. It's basically what you're doing. And so, and that was the thing is, what could we do this? How much is it going to cost to do it? And we started out, our budget was much smaller, but now our budget to put this event on is over $135,000 a year, and and it all comes from. We get a partnership with the city and Putnam County, but businesses, they contribute financially, they partner with us, and that makes it all free for the community to enjoy and attend.
Yeah, and it's a great event. It's I don't think you or I or anybody else would have dreamed it would have grown as much as it has to what it has.
Right. You hope it will, but you never know.
You never know, yeah.
Is this going to take off? Do people want this? And but as we progress through it and we get so many comments back on it, people do, in fact, look forward to it. They do make a day out of it. They do. Now it's turned into, the whole region is doing things, and it's been great to see that Freedom Week has become, and no one really in our area does on our day, because we established from the beginning we'd be on July 4th no matter what day it fell on.
Right.
That was important to provide that consistency. And now you have Monterey on the 5th and Baxter, I believe, on the 3rd or 2nd, and Sparta's on 1, and so all of them are all around.
Something, I think, so they went around it, and before that nobody was doing hardly anything, and so it's been a great thing. So old Fairgrounds one last time.
One final time. You and I have this conversation every year, so we'll call it at the OG, the original, the old Fairgrounds on Jefferson and Walnut, and it's bittersweet. That's a great venue, and it's a great venue for not because it's such a pristine place or it's the size of it. It's because of the location, really, because you can, and people do park on Jefferson and Willow and Interstate Drive and Veterans and all these places, these sight lines, because that's when everybody has their favorite spot they've gone to over the years. And that part I hate that we'll be losing.
Yeah.
But I'm also equally excited about the opportunity for the new fairgrounds next year, and it'll be the 250th birthday of America next year.
It will.
So that's exciting that the 12th Red, White, and Boom will be on the 250th birthday of America at the new Putnam County Fairgrounds on Tennessee Avenue that you instrumental in bringing forward, and it looks amazing. And I know it's going to be a great, it's going to hold 3,000 cars, and where the one we have now is about 500 cars maybe.
Yeah, and it's that was the thing about the old fairgrounds. It wasn't that we couldn't have went in and spent several $1 million and rehabbed it, but it's landlocked.
It's landlocked, yeah.
And not enough space the way Cookeville and Putnam County's grown.
45 acres there,
right.
And now you have
165 acres.
165, so
yeah,
almost,
so it's
almost 3.5 times bigger. So
yeah, so it was it's going to be a good move, and being down on Tennessee Avenue, which was a great thing the city did when you were mayor, and that's going to grow up down there too, and I think it's going to be good. But of course, the county fair kind of had something to do with this too. This is the 99th county fair.
Right.
They wanted the 100th to be at the new fairgrounds, just like you wanted the 250th anniversary on our country to be there. So I think it'll be great to have both those events back there.
Glad we're able to do it one more time. I know we said one more time for 2 or 3 years, but this legitimately will be.
This is going to be it. Yeah.
And new traditions will be formed, and new logistics will have to be figured out. But it's it's always good to change things up a little bit. And we've made a few changes with this year's Red, White, and Boom. We can talk about that. But excited and appreciate your partnership. Absolutely.
We have a good one. We're talking to Ricky Shelton, past mayor of Cookeville and creator of the Red, White, and Boom and Better Cookeville that puts it on. We're talking about the event. You added something, not the first year, was last year with the Freedom 5K?
Yeah, so that'll be on, we're doing it on the Saturday before 4th of July. So that'll be Saturday, June 28th. It's a 5K run downtown at 8 p.m. at night. We had about 125 entries last year, and so we're hoping to better that this year. But it's fun. You can walk, you can run, you can jog, you can push a stroller, whatever. It's relatively flat. It's all around the downtown area. Michael England, renowned runner, he kind of created the course for us, and the proceeds of this about 75% of them benefit the Exceptional Bean and their mission that they have. And so, it's $45 to enter. You get a T-shirt with that and a fun time and some really cool medals if you win.
If somebody wants to enter that, how do they do that, Rick?
Yeah, so all the information for everything is on redwhiteandboomcookeville.com. It's real simple, and so there's tabs on there for the Freedom 5K. There's some schedule of the music. There's our sponsors, which we'll talk about in a minute, and all those things are on there. But Red, White, and Boom, spell out and, redwhiteandboomcookeville.com.
Mike and CG, they're great, aren't they?
They are.
What they've done with the Exceptional Bean.
Yeah.
Mike, of course, I see Mike running through town all the time.
Absolutely.
I mean, he is one runner now, and you can always tell it's Mike by the shoes he's got on.
That's right.
He is
bright colors
into those shoes. But they've done an amazing job with the Exceptional Bean. Mm-hmm. Opened up a new one now.
Yes.
And hiring folks with disabilities and different things. And
great mission, and that's why we knew we wanted to partner with them, not only because he has the knowledge of the running, but it wanted to help that, and it begins and ends there at the Exceptional Bean as well. So kind of a full circle deal there.
And it's going to a great nonprofit. And the Exceptional Bean is a nonprofit. People may think that's a for-profit business, but it's a nonprofit.
Yeah, it's a nonprofit.
They're making, they're putting back into it and helping these folks that probably might not be able to have a job if it wasn't for the bean that they can work in, and they play into their disabilities.
They do.
If you've got a disability with this, then we're going to put you over here where your strength is to do. And I applaud both of them. They've just done a great job, and I'm glad you're partnering with them.
Yeah.
We got to take a break.
Okay.
You're listening to Today in Putnam County. I'm County Mayor Randy Porter. More about Red, White, and Boom and past Mayor of Cookeville, Ricky Shelton, and Better Cookeville. Stay with us. We'll be back.
And now back to Today in Putnam County, hosted by Putnam County Mayor Randy Porter.
Welcome back to Today in Putnam County. I'm your host, County Mayor Randy Porter. Our show this week, it's about Red, White, and Boom. It's a great patriotic event that we have in Cookeville for, I guess we're on our 11th year, and I've got the founder of that event, and that's Mr. Ricky Shelton, past mayor of Cookeville. Rick, thanks for being on the show this week.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Let's talk about the event, and won't you run down through all the things that are going to be part of this, because this is a fun packed day with a lot of stuff going on.
It is, yeah. So again, at the old original Putnam County Fairgrounds on Jefferson Avenue, the gates will open at 4:00. We'll have probably 18 to 20 food vendors there, food, beverage, shave ice, lemonade, all those type things. The music will kick off at 5:30 with Cousin. It's a local band from Livingston, Tennessee. They're gonna kick us off, and then at 7:30 we'll have a band that's a lot of people are excited about. It's called Slippery When Wet. It's the ultimate Bon Jovi tribute. They travel all over the country, and so it's the first time that they've been in Cookeville, and they're going to be there. Choosing music for an event like this, it's we oftentimes have country and all different types. But what's good about this is it's songs that most people know, Bon Jovi songs, and so you can dance along, sing along, have fun. So that'll be from about actually from 7 to 9. And then we move into the national anthem, America the Beautiful, will be sung live, and then the fireworks will go about 9:05 p.m.
Second largest in the state, right?
Second largest in Tennessee, one of the largest in the Southeast. We've continued to be able to maintain that over the years, and so we're excited about that. We'll have some craft vendors and sales vendors on site as well. We'll also have the U.S. Army is going to be there with some vehicles, a couple of transport vehicles, a full group of, not a platoon, but several people. The Army Recruiting Office has been vital in partnering with us on that, and so we're excited about that. And people can come out, look at those vehicles, get inside them, and kids should really like that.
That was a big thing. I guess it was last year when they brought the big tank in. I mean, there was a line the whole time until you got ready to do the fireworks. The kids just wanting to crawl down in, and because that's an opportunity to get inside a tank that they probably would never have.
Yeah, it was an M1 Abrams, and I got in it and didn't know if I could ever get out of it. Actually, it's a very tight spot.
Yeah, I didn't even try. So it might be claustrophobic getting in there.
But no, and so the fireworks will last about 22 minutes. As always, it's fully synchronized to music. The music will be available over 94.7. The Country Giant and 98.5 KISS FM, as always. So wherever you're watching from, whether it's at the fairgrounds or on Jefferson or wherever it is, tune your radio to one of those stations and listen along, because it does add to it, accentuate the fireworks. And so it's all free to get in, free admission, free parking is up till we have 500 cars parked. And your team of Cody and the Parks and Rec crew are phenomenal what they do to get the fairgrounds ready, and we always appreciate that partnership. Right. And they do a great job, and and come out and enjoy it. We made the decision, no food or outside drink to come into the fairgrounds. We will this year. We've had several comments last year, and so we're trying to figure out a way, and you and I talked about this, to make it fair. So bottled water will be allowed. Yeah. You can bring bottled water, and obviously if you're bringing a baby or something, you bring your chairs and bring the diaper bag, but no outside food or drink. That's why we have the food trucks that you can purchase food.
Yeah. And it works out. We don't want people bringing in stuff they shouldn't either.
Exactly.
And, so it works out. You a Bon Jovi fan?
Yeah, I like Bon Jovi. I can't sing at all. You know that.
Well, neither you or I, neither one. Yeah. God didn't bless us with singing voices.
But I am willing to try, in between acts, if you want to get up there and let's try to, lip sync or karaoke something.
Let me think about that.
You do that.
I'll get back to you on that. Okay. So, maybe the next day we'll
July 5th. Okay. Yeah, we'll do that. No, that will. If we need to evacuate the place, that's when they want me singing.
Yeah, I don't think there'll be many folks that will want to stay and listen to that. You got a lot of great sponsors that have helped through the years. You want to run through those?
I do, because I always say this, and I can't say it enough, and I try to make sure that they get recognition and value, because without them, it literally would not be possible.
Right.
And if it was just up, it wouldn't be fair to leave it up just to the city and the county to do it. And so these businesses, and most of these have been with me from the get-go. A few of them have changed over time, but Ford Lincoln of Cookeville, Life Church, Cash Express, Store Smart, Coca-Cola Consolidated, Rogers Group, Food City, Henry Brothers Roofing and Siding, Clayton Homes, Better Together, Averett, G&L Tube, Rush Towing, T.W. Frierson, Vulcan Materials, Wilson Bank and Trust, Putnam Properties, Twin Lakes, the Real Estate Collective, McGriff Insurance, Dependable Auto Sales, First National Bank, Texas Roadhouse. I've got a lot of media partners, which the radio stations being, 94.7 The Country Giant, 98.5 Kiss FM, 106.1 The Eagle, and 107.7 Grace are our radio partners. And then we have Go Advertising, the Upper Cumberland Reporter, Cookeville Lifestyle Magazine, and also Home to Suites and Holiday Inn help us. And then, of course, like I said, this couldn't do this also without the significant impact of the city of Cookeville and Putnam County and you particularly.
Well, and that to me, when you read that list of sponsors that you've got with it, I mean, there's a Duke's mixture of all kinds of businesses. If they're willing to put into this event, that says what our community is, doesn't it? We talk about it all the time.
It really does, and I know there was some somebody last year, one of the sponsors actually, made a really I thought a very impactful post. It meant a lot to me because people don't realize how much effort it takes. You look at something and say, it's fireworks show, but there's months and months of planning. I mean, I spent all day yesterday just working through the logistic stuff and design work and trying to get ads placed and social media and all these things. Our social media post will end up, these businesses and all this will be about over 1 million impressions by the time it's over with. And so you look at all those things, and somebody talked about, the gratification is, it's easy, sometimes easy for people to write checks. But this person that said this actually, they put their money where their mouth is. They wrote the check, but their gratification is that they see how the community comes together, how people from all over Middle Tennessee come to Cookeville for this, spend untold amounts of money in gas and some stay and lodge, food, gas, all those things, and then the smiles of people enjoying it. And that's what it's all about. You've been there with me now. This will be 11 years, and how intense I am because I want it to be just right. And there was a couple of snafus with the fireworks last year that most people would not know about, but I took it very much to heart. It was something that out of our control and out of our pyro shows who does our but they're making up for it tremendously this year. We're getting extra product, and so if you thought that the fireworks show in previous years was great, this one's going to be off the charts.
Well, they do an amazing job.
They do.
To choreograph that to music and the way everything's computerized, I mean, unbelievable.
Yeah, they come in on June 30th, so they'll be here for 5 days getting it all set up. This isn't something you just go out and, they literally work, and all these tubes and the wiring, 8.5 miles of wiring. Of course, a lot of it now is electronic too, but still all that has to be set up, and they do a great job. And I'm proud that like I said, pyro shows are from La Follette, Tennessee, so they're a local Tennessee deal, but they do a great job.
Yeah, and it's you did a video, I don't know if that was last year or one of the previous years, where it was kind of time lapse of them setting all of it up. It's a tremendous amount of work to make that all happen, and then to watch that all go off in 20 minutes or whatever it winds up being. And over the years, you think very few issues. I mean, it's just they got it down pat.
We had what bad weather one year, and it waited, and we finally about 15 minutes. That's the only time, knock on wood, that we've ever had to delay starting. And last year there was an unfortunate something happened that kind of caused the synchronization to be off. But this year, we're making provisions for that, and we're going to have much better. And even then. And we'll have even more product for 250th birthday next year.
That's great. It's going to be a great event, as always. Hey, you're listening today in Putnam County. I'm your host, County Mayor Randy Porter. Our guest this week is past Mayor of Cookeville, Ricky Shelton. We're talking about red, white, and boom. This next segment, we're going to talk to Rick about some of the things that's going on in his life and some of the other things that he's doing. So stay with us. We'll be back.
And now back to Today in Putnam County, hosted by Putnam County Mayor Randy Porter.
Welcome back to Today in Putnam County. I'm your host, County Mayor Randy Porter. Our show this week, it's about red, white, and boom, the 11th annual patriotic ceremony that we have here in Cookeville involving fireworks and singing and all types of great things at the Putnam County Fairgrounds. My guest this week is past Cookeville Mayor Ricky Shelton. Rick, we've been talking about everything red, white, and boom and all the events coming up. Let's talk about some of the other stuff that you're doing. Huh? You opened a new event space called Trackside. How's that going?
Yeah, it's good. We opened it in October of 23 and, had a vision, been places where they have the turf and the little stage and the food trucks. And so we thought, well, we don't have one of those here. We'll try to create that. So my wife Shannon and I, on some property that we had, we built it, and it was good. It was, working through the kinks of what, the idea was to, there would be transient trucks coming, and several of the trucks that were there, or trailers, decided, hey, we want to be here all the time. And over time, things kind of, obviously it's an outdoor venue, but weather, it is weather dependent. It rains a lot here, as you well know. But the big thing is the consistency. And so, advertising that they're going to be open, and over time, some were not as committed business people as others. And so last July, after some decisions, we just decided to close that for the time being, because I really wanted to find trucks that wanted to treat it like a business, that this was going to be like potentially, I'm in a food truck or trailer now. I may one day want to be in a restaurant, really that kind of commitment. And so WCTE held their Blues and Brews Festival there. Cookeville Lifestyles did a magazine launch. We did a College Town kickoff. So we did sporadic events there. And then this year I thought, okay, is it time now that we could find, and sure enough, the Rolling Spud, which is a phenomenal baked potato truck, they wanted to come off the road. Many food trucks and trailers, they love to go to events for a couple of days and come. And they'd been going, and that wears you down. And so I said, you know what, let's talk. So we worked out a deal, and then I've ended up with three others. The Dave's Old Fashioned Burgers, which are phenomenal burgers. A truck called Doguito, which is hot dogs and kind of a Mexican or Spanish fusion food, and then in Brazen Q, which is a phenomenal barbecue restaurant in Livingston. They built a truck just to put here, and so I say all that to say we now have four really great food options. I consider it some of the best food options in Cookeville, in a setting that you can come, you can get it to go. You can enjoy our picnic tables. We have music and entertainment there on Fridays and Saturday nights. You can come out and enjoy that. But they're all committed to, they're open core hours of Wednesday and Thursday, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. And that's every single week. And that consistency now, as people have gotten that, and the repeat customers are coming. And so it's working like we had hoped. We also have an on-site restaurant. TDF Filipino Foods. It's going to open real soon, and we've had a few other pop-up vendors, and so it's kind of coming to fruition of what we'd hoped it would be.
It's a neat space. It really is. Right in downtown.
We should go have lunch there soon.
We should.
All right.
Invite me.
Well, what are you doing in about?
Hey, I'm good.
Okay.
I was thinking, and we missed this because we had to be out of town, but Cookeville Lifestyle magazine did their launch party of our good friend Jay Coote being on the cover, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. And he actually, to relaunch Trackside, I had Jake out, and there was 700 or 800 people there, and it was great. And then for the launch, he came back, and he was on the cover of the magazine. And Chelsea, who's a good friend of both of ours, and she wanted to do the event there, and it sets up great for an event like that. And of course, then the food trucks, people can eat and all the things. And so, like I said, it's a fun space. If we can just have some more dry weather so that people can actually sit outside and enjoy it, that'll be.
It'll happen. This summer it'll happen. Jake, I don't know. I think back, seems so long ago when we did him at the Hoop after he won The Voice.
January of 2020.
That was some exciting times. Little did we know all of our enjoyment was about to stop with the
Less
tornado.
than 2 months later, the tornado, and then
COVID,
and all the things. So it was definitely a trying year.
It was. He's a great guy.
He is.
I was glad to see him get on the cover.
And I'm glad I feel like he's going to have a resurgence and going to actually. I feel like he's a lot of things happened when he tried to launch, and I feel like some things are lining up for him, and I'm couldn't happen to a nicer guy.
You're exactly right. He is a super guy. I got to ask you, and everybody wants to know: do you miss being mayor?
I do. I certainly miss parts of it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Gave my heart and soul to it. Miss serving with you. I thought we were a great team.
Absolutely.
There's always negative, and it's you try not to concentrate on the negative, but unfortunately, and you know this as well as anybody, the negative always speaks louder than the positives. You can have 10 positives, and the one negative wears you down more, and it's hard to ever get past that because we're doers and we're fixers, and but we're also want to be pleasing people. We want people to.
We want to be liked. We want to do a good job.
We want people to recognize what we're trying to do, and so you have those traits, and that's when it becomes different. But yes, so the short answer is I do miss it. I miss parts of it. The parts of it I don't, but I do miss we were able to get so much done, and I feel like put us on a really great trajectory. There were a couple things at the end that didn't get done. I know the people of Cookeville really, their number one request was and still is a water park.
That was my next question. Is there something in your administration that you wished had got done that didn't?
Well, we did everything. Once we finally got everybody on the same path to do that, we bought the land on 111. We issued the bond. Did all the work to get it, commissioned the study for the deal. We had it all ready into a nice tidy bow for the next council to do. And, leadership, they changed. And so they made a different decision to spend the money a different way. And, that's their decision.
Right.
We did all we could do because we couldn't get it we couldn't get it started before we left, but we got everything else but that.
Right.
I know, and there's a couple of people private that have talked to me and are trying to facilitate that, and I would love to still be, and told them I would help them bring it to you or the city or a combination of both of those to try to help make it happen, because it will take a lot of money, but I know it's something that would be good for community. But I think the opportunity is a public-private partnership. That's the way to do it.
Oh, I think so too. And people they're looking for things to do with their kids. We almost had the kids' entertainment center over by the old fairgrounds that fell through.
Absolutely.
I mean, COVID and everything just really that messed a lot of business opportunities up there for a couple of years, didn't it?
It did, and it would be successful. There's no doubt about that. All you have to do is know how many people are going from Putnam County to Warren County to go to the Gilly Pool.
Right.
Hundreds. A week, and so I think our problem would be, and I think the challenge will be, can we build it big enough to accommodate all those that will want to come to this, because we'll be drawing some much bigger crowd. And so I do think, I want to help facilitate, and through my consulting business, I'm talking to some folks to try to help. Let's find that maybe it's a major partner to come in and partner with several people, and let's make that happen here sometime.
Well, even the community pools that we have at the Cookeville Community Center in Monterey, they stay packed during the summer. They're not, years ago, those were probably good, and then you had Echo Valley back then, and so you probably had the pools covered. Parkview,
which closed,
so had several, but a lot of them have gone away, and the two county pools is only two that's other than the Y that's got the indoor pool. But I think the folks are looking for some outside, be out in the sun, and
they are. It's just it's going to be costly because it can only be open, Memorial Day to Labor Day, so it's a short window. So how do you supplement that? And so it's okay. There's a lot of things being done right now in Cookeville and Putnam County, and a lot of infrastructure being done. We had set, I know I served on the transportation committee with you, we had probably 50 or 75 projects either started in the planning or or beginning, and those are all, we're seeing all those come to fruition now. They were needed, but it's not easy to drive around when you've got everything tore up, but that's what happens, is you have to do that to get to the next spot.
It's got to be a little pain to get to this point we want. I wish we had more time, Rick. There's a lot more stuff we can talk about.
We can do this again.
We will. I'll have you back on. Give them one last time your website, so that if they want to be in the 5K or they want to be part of this, where do they go to
so
look at it?
It's red, white, and boom, Cookeville.com. You can find out everything. You can register for the 5K there. And if you want to know about Trackside, tracksidecookeville.com, and that's got the food trucks on there. It's got all the entertainment schedule. You can see who's playing on Fridays and Saturday nights, and come out and enjoy the food, enjoy the outside in downtown Cookeville.
Absolutely. Rick, thanks for everything you do and have done for Cookeville and continue to do, and thank you for your friendship.
Appreciate you very much.
You've been listening to Today in Putnam County. I'm your host, County Mayor Randy Porter. Hope you have a great rest of your week, and may God continue to bless Putnam County.
You've been listening to Today in Putnam County, hosted by Putnam County Mayor Randy Porter.